Hi, I'm Justin from Arcsky. In this video, we're going to give you a closer look at the Xplorer. The Xplorer is our compact industrial drone system made primarily for applications like mapping, surveying, inspection, and other specialized payload operations. As we go in this video, I'll be giving you more details about each piece of the system, like the airframe, the payload ecosystem, the batteries and the charger, the controller, and our Arcsky control application. In front of me is the Xplorer airframe. This is an NDAA compliant system throughout. It's also compact and lightweight, made primarily of 6061 aluminum and carbon fiber. We also have industrial grade motors on the system with dual redundant control pathways, as well as telemetry data for feedback from the system. One of the highlights of the Xplorer airframe is the built-in situational awareness and sensor suite. In front here, we have a built-in FPV camera. This gives the operator situational awareness when taking off, landing, and just in general flight operations. Right below the FPV camera is a forward-facing distance sensor with an effective range of 40 meters. This can be used to simply know the distance between the aircraft and an obstacle or something in front of you. It can also be used to actively avoid something and stop if you're in harm's way. For example, the operator can turn this function on or off with a setting on the controller, and they can also control what the action the aircraft does when it gets within a pre-configured distance. For example, you can simply warn the operator, you can stop the drone, or you can trigger a return to launch. On the bottom side of the Xplorer, right here, there's a downward-facing distance sensor with an effective range of up to 90 meters. And it can be used for multiple different situations. Again, this is a feature that can be turned on or off via the Arcsky control app directly on the controller. This can be used for controlled descents when you're getting close to the ground so that you can't physically descend fast once you are within a pre-configured distance. It can also be used for accurate terrain following so that you can stay a constant distance above the ground level. The Xplorer also features a built-in RTK GPS system. And in those situations where positioning accuracy of the drone is very important, or you need high positioning accuracy on your geotags, you can use this RTK functionality. To do that, you can use either a fixed base station in the field or through an N-trip connection. In the case where you're using N-trip, you can enter your credentials and make that connection directly on the Arcsky control app, and then those corrections will be sent to the aircraft and provide that RTK correction source. On the bottom side of the Xplorer, we have a quick release payload port. This allows you to quickly and easily swap between different compatible payloads in the system. For example, in this demonstration, we have the Sony ILX payload. To install it, all you need to do is line up the indicators on each side, insert it, and then twist the collar. The Xplorer is also compatible with the FreeFly Smart Dovetail interface. So in the event that you have a payload that requires only this interface, you can simply remove the default payload port, install this, it's just 3 bolts, and the same connector just plugs right into the bottom of the Xplorer. Powering the Xplorer, we have dual 10 amp hour 6S batteries. These batteries feature a custom battery management system that we developed in-house that has features such as intelligent health monitoring, self-balancing, as well as a self-discharge feature, so that if you store it for extended periods of time, it will actually bring the battery down to the correct storage level. Additionally, you can see the battery level just with the press of a button on the front of the battery here. So next to the batteries here, we have the Xplorer dual battery charger. I'm going to power it up real quick so I can demonstrate how it works. When you hear those 3 initialization beeps, that tells you that the charger is on and ready to go. So to charge a battery, all you have to do is drop it down into either one of the bays. You'll also hear a tone to let you know that it's connected, and it will start charging if it needs to charge. I'll do that on the other side. A typical battery charge takes about 1 hour. And on this charger, we have a lot of cool features as well. There's built-in cooling fans. There are LED indicators on the front to let you know the status of the battery. And it also has audible beeps, so it'll let you know when the batteries are done charging. It will also let you know if there's anything that needs your attention. Now let's talk about how you actually control the Xplorer. This right here is the Xplorer controller. It's got a 7-inch touchscreen display. It also has up to 6 hours of battery life. And if you need more, you can actually power it from a USB-C supply, keep it powered all day for unlimited operation. We also have controls, switches, wheels for all payload operations conveniently located here. And on the back side, there are panels here that give you access to a USB-C connection for file transfer. You also have full-size HDMI cable output so that you can mirror this display on a larger screen. And there's an Ethernet port for easy data sharing. And finally, let's take a look at the software that brings all of this together. That's Arcsky Control. Before I do that, I'm going to turn on the controller in the drone so that we can get a connection. Now that everything is powered on and connected, let's take a look at the Arcsky Control application in a little bit more detail. When you first open the application, this is going to be your main view. If you were going to plan a mission, like for surveying applications, you would find that in the top left corner in the Plan Flight tab. We're not going to go into the mission planning in this video. We'll likely show that in a lot of detail in a future video. But here I'm going to show some of the cool features that the application has on the home screen. So on the top toolbar, one of the unique things about Arcsky Control is that it offers something called Quick Config. If I click on that, that gives me immediate and direct access to a lot of the settings that I may need to change frequently during my different missions. One of those being the return to launch altitude, return to launch speed, manual flight speed, and mission speed. There's a couple other things in there that you may need to frequently access, but this has been a really handy feature that a lot of people have enjoyed using. And then over there on the very right side of the toolbar, we have a payload indicator. And what this means is that you can actually select the payload that is being used on the Xplorer, and it's going to automatically reconfigure the Xplorer for that payload. So for example, if I swapped out a different sensor for the ILX, I can go here and select the ILX, hit apply, and that will automatically apply the parameters for the Xplorer that needs to work with the ILX, reboot, and then everything will be good to operate without you having to dig into menus or change settings or things like that. On the main part of the screen here, we see the FPV video feed. But let's say I want to switch over to the camera feed in real time. All I have to do is use this video selector button here, switch to the cam, and it automatically switches over to the video feed from the Sony camera. And with that, it brings up a little panel on the side here that has specific settings for that Sony camera. If I click into the ILX settings, I have a lot of really cool features here, like a setting that will make it automatically pitch down into the nadir position for mapping missions. I have geotagging controls, image controls, like the shutter speed, ISO, and a lot of different low-level controls of the image. Those are advanced settings. And our most recent feature that we just added is called Tap to Focus. I have that on right now, and what that means is I can tap anywhere on the screen. That's going to send a command to the camera to focus on that particular area. And this is very useful for inspection applications where you may have a very large depth of field between what you're trying to look at and the background. And you don't want to accidentally focus on the background and have everything in the foreground of your image blurry. So by doing that, we can simply tap on the place that we want to focus on, and the camera is going to automatically focus there. Then we can snap the image. Lastly, here I'm just going to show a little bit of control with the gimbal. I'm using the hardware wheels on the controller to move that around. I can take a photo with the trigger button. And if I want to get the gimbal back to a centered position, we also have a button for that on the top toolbar. If I click on the gimbal and hit the center button, everything just returns back to normal. So it's very intuitive, easy to use. So I hope this video has given you a better understanding and more insight into some of the unique and specialized features that the Xplorer has. This is an excellent platform for surveying, mapping, inspection, and other specialized applications. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us as always, and thanks for watching.